Hello and welcome to the Afro Dominion Show. My name is Freeman Singirankabo, and thank you so very much for joining our program today. Those of you joining us live, especially if you're joining us live from social medias, platforms like Facebook, YouTube, and the likes, welcome. We are so thrilled that you can have some time out of your busy schedule to tune into our program today. That goes for the same of you who are following this program straight from your television or radio station or whichever radio that you may be picking up this signal from. We are also excited and we are so thankful that you can find some time out of this busy schedule to join this program today. Please, by all means, share this program. Those of you on social media, follow and like. You may be wondering why we ask you to do that, so that we can have an opportunity to engage each and every one of you guys. For those of you following us from the radio station or television, we have especially a Zoom platform where you can actually come in and have a discussion with us as it happens right now in real time. That goes the same with those of you following our program straight from your social media. In particular, if you're following us straight from YouTube, Facebook, and there are some other proprietary platforms that we are pushing this signal to. There are places especially for you to join our program. If you read a spot that says conversation, or if you have a chat, you can speak straight to us directly as it happens right now. Even if you have a video tuned in, you can also link in. We can receive you straight from there as well. We literally have been making an effort to find you wherever it is that you found comfortable, so we can actually have an engaging conversation, a live discussion with you. And we absolutely do not care which platform you're connecting to us from, be it a regular social media platform, a radio station, or your television. One of the most important things is that we are super excited and grateful that you can actually have some time out of your busy schedule to join this program today. And with that in mind, we are also telling each and every one of you guys that we are really, really humbled and excited for the opportunity to come and showcase some of the works that we do, to voice our opinion, to speak on behalf of the voiceless, and those who absolutely do not have not only the means, but also the opportunity to come and speak to you on a global audience. A huge thanks to HMG Network and the affiliates for actually broadcasting and distributing this signal. It is not every day that you have these opportunities where you can actually speak to the entire world in the comfort of your studio, in the comfort of your own home, especially those of you who have been on the lockdown in your own homes. So if you're on a lockdown, or if you have been unable to go to your office, or unable to do what you normally used to do, and you are forced to do it from your comfort zone of your house, that's also an opportunity. So regardless of where you are, as you follow this conversation, as you participate in this conversation, we are super excited to have you. And with that in mind, we are absolutely speaking with you frankly, boldly, and with no apologies, especially that the issues that we get to discuss with you, these are the issues that we absolutely care so deeply about. They are very close to our hearts, and we want you guys to be a part of that, and to also speak frankly to us, speak boldly, and with no apologies. No need to feel ashamed, no need to be awkward, none of that. And it is in that same spirit also that everything we discuss here at Afro Dominion, we discuss it in the spirit of truth, love, and trust. And these are the benchmarks by which we would love to have each and every one of you to measure not only the integrity of the contents that we actually share with you guys, but also the validity. If you find something that is incorrect, please do us a favor, but also do yourself a favor. Join in the program and say, hey, listen, something is wrong with this issue, or I know that statement to be inaccurate or incorrect. Because we would love nothing more than actually have you and those of you who are following our programs to be on the same vibration as far as everything that we do. if we having a conversation, if we're on the same tune, same vibration, we're not just gonna feed you some, some garbage. If you find something that is inaccurate, you can actually say, hold up, that information is not accurate. Please do something to rectify that. And we promise each and every one of you, one of the things that we are absolutely following, and we have zero tolerance, is to feed you false information, especially knowingly. That is something that we do not do here at Afri Dominion. And the entire team at HMG Network and the affiliates, we have zero policy. We have zero tolerance policy as far as just feeding some garbage information. And it is why we publicly say that if you do find an error, if you do find something that is inaccurate, that we're airing on these televisions, that we're airing on these radio airwaves, that we're pushing through this social media, please do us a favor and let us know so we can correct it right then and there without any delays. And it is for this reason we also always give you guys the way to get in touch with us. So you can actually have that opportunity to send us that feedback, to give us a call, but also to come in and check us out and see what we are up to. And for those of you who would love to know how to get in touch with us, one of our primary gateway to get in touch with us is through our website. And that website is www.afridominion.com. www.afridominion.com. When you get there, you find all the information, especially you get to find our contact information, which means our telephone number, our email address, and some of the other ways that you can get in touch with us, especially those of you who are social media mongers. We can find us on social media. You can find our social media handlers. You can find our telephone number, where we can be found on these social medias, SMS platforms like Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp, Signal, Telegram, and the likes. There are so many of them. So you get to know exactly how to find us so that none of you will say, I have no idea how to find Afri Dominion team. We do not hide, guys. Everything that we do it in the light. We do not believe at all in coming in front of you and come going under the tables, sneaking in and sneaking out. No, that's not us. We do not roll like that. Not today, not tomorrow, and definitely not yesterday. And with that in mind, we can assure you that everything we do here, we do it straightforward. Be it mistakes, be it something that's accurate, we publicly do it all. Because we want to be held on those high standards, regardless of who's talking, who's our special, our special guest, or what topic that we're discussing. It all has to be public. It has to be in the light, because that's how we believe that that everything has to be or ought to be. And with that in mind, guys, that's where we stand in terms of how we communicate with you guys. But also, we'd love for each and every one of you who aren't familiar with what this show is about to just give you a little quick brief about it. I also love to say that so that right at the very beginning, you know what we are about, and you also know what we are not about. We do not want to waste any of your time. You are too busy. We are also too busy. That we want to make sure that that 1 second that you give us, it is actually valuable, not only to you, but also to us. If we share something with you, make sure that it's something of a value. If you find that it's not valuable, please, by all means, keep it moving. We do not want to be held responsible for your ignorance. Or we don't want to be held responsible for you saying that I stay there hoping to receive A, B, C, D, but I never got it. If at the very beginning you do not get to understand, you do not get to know what we are about, please keep it moving. And that is the reason being I want to get right on point. What is Afri Dominion and what is Afri Dominion Show? First and foremost. So Afri Dominion is an idea that's there to inspire, advocate, to help, and to encourage each and every one of you to take a full dominion of Africa and African resources, one nation at a time, by African sons, daughters, kings and queens, and African descendants, all in the interest of Africa and African people first and foremost, and then the rest of the world afterwards. So the Afri Dominion Show, it is literally a mouthpiece of the idea. Here at Afri Dominion, you can expect that every single program that we have, it has to be an inspiring program. It has to be advocating you, the voiceless, and you who have something to say. It has to encourage our brothers and sisters, even beyond our brothers and sisters. But we also take it a notch, extra few miles afterwards. We also actually get down and dirty to it. We also help each and every one of you to take full dominion of your Africa, of Mama Africa, of your African resources. One nation at a time, guys, by all of you sons and daughters and African descendants. Literally all in the interest again of our people, our African brothers and sisters, first and foremost, and then the rest of the world afterwards. Why do I stress on this, and why do I absolutely give it to you straight out? I want you guys to make sure that whenever you hear me talking about African this, African that, you don't wonder like, is this some sort of discrimination? No. The same way a Chinese can be like, this is a service for Chinese people. Same way a French person can say like, this is for, French speaking individual or French nationals. Same way in the United States, you can say that this service is strictly for the United States citizens. It's nothing different than that. Africa and African people, we are in a crisis right now. Our house has been on fire for quite some time now. We're talking about decades, even centuries, I would dare say centuries. And with that in mind, we've taken it upon ourselves to publicly come out and say, we need to have our house in order, with no apologies to nobody. And with that, actually trembling about what we are doing, very boldly and unapologetic to any of you. Why? If our house is in order, if each and every one of our villages is in order, if our nations are in order, we just won't have anybody come in and boss us around. We won't have some shenanigans taking place and everybody goes kumbaya. We will be not only responsible to our own lives, the continent, but also its management on the resource, on natural resource side, but also on human resources. That is one of the most important responsibility that us as Africans, we have to be able to take back and assume fully. Meaning, we do not expect foreigners, we do not expect non-African people to come and manage Africa and manage African resources. Plain, simple. That is why we say, when we talk to you guys here, we speak frankly, we speak boldly, and with no apologies. I know, that some of this conversation may find offensive to some of you, especially those of you meddling in African and African affairs, especially those of you who believe that you are actually superior to African and African people, especially those of you who have literally been enslaving Africa and African people, especially those of you who believe that you were born with some sort of divine fruits in your hands that gives you an upper hand towards African people and the likes. So we know that this kind of language, this kind of boldness talk, it's not only offensive to some of you, but you find it very unacceptable. And that's why we come and say to you that we apologize to none of you. I have yet to hear it in the United States, in France, in Russia, in Germany. You guys actually trembling about some of the policies, some of the laws, and what you believe in. You speak boldly. Not only you speak boldly, you protect it, and you are willing to fight over it, and you are willing to shed your blood over it. What's so different about us Africans? We used to do that, and it's about time we also take that back. Are we together? So I just want to make sure that we break the ice like that, and we let you know that this conversation and the programming that you will find it here. If it feels offensive to you, or if you feel like this is out of line, please, we have Zoom open. We have so many other ways that you can come through and communicate with each and every one of us. Communicate in real time. We do not want to have you to receive you somewhere right under the closet and be like, you know, you may want to chill on this area or that area. If we speak publicly about any issue, any initiative, any program, we expect you to engage us publicly as well. We do not expect you to come in the back channels and be like, you know what, you may want to tune this down, or you may want to, you may want to switch it this way or that way. That's not how we roll. Respectfully, guys. And this is no way, no means that we are saying that we are discriminating. We discriminate nobody. We simply prioritize our own people. The same way every single nation on planet, its sole priority or its sole task is to ensure that its own people are prioritized, which is why we have nations. An American is not going to prioritize a Rwandese person. A French person is not going to prioritize a Russian person. A Canadian is not going to pick a Mexican first before the Canadians. Are you together? Are you following me? So when I say this is strictly for African people, first and foremost, we really mean what we say. And we make no apologies about it. The same way everything else is happening as we see it. All right? So with that in mind, in this program, we have 5 specific themes that we run our program through. Why 5 specific themes? We do broadcast Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, and Friday. Every single day, we have a theme that we follow, and through that particular theme, we also get to have programs. Which means on Monday, we have one theme, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. On Mondays, what do we talk about? We get to talk about the eradication of African refugees and African stateless person. You may wonder, what the heck is that? We have many people who are homeless, who are countryless, who have been refugees in somebody else's country outside of their own home, their own inheritance. So we get to examine, we get to scrutinize, and we get to say, why is this taking place? This is not new. It's been going on for decades, even centuries. And today we're wondering, why can we not get rid of this particular situation amongst our brothers and sisters? What is missing? So we get to explore that on Mondays. And I want to welcome each and every one of you who has a passion for these issues as it relates to refugees and stateless person. Come in and take a bite at it. But also come and contribute to what you think or what you feel could be very helpful to the rest of us, brothers and sisters all over Africa and outside of Africa. On Tuesdays, we get to talk about the Constitution, law, and policy review and implementation. Again, to most of you, some of these words may sound so complicated, may sound so big, and you may feel intimidated. Be not intimidated by any word invented by a human being. Let me repeat. Be not intimidated by any word invented by a human being. You may feel intimidated by the language that's being utilized, because if you do not speak, if you do not understand, and if you have zero comprehension of that language, quite obviously, you will not be able to follow. But the minute you realize what's missing and you acquire that which is missing, then you're in business. Hence, do not think of constitution, law, and policy as some fancy words for the rich or the wealthy. These are code names for everyday life. These are a set of instructions, guys. The same way you can tell a child, I need you to go to school in the morning, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to whatever time. That's an instruction. So we have a set of instructions on your house basis, on your neighborhood basis, on your city basis, on your region basis, on your country basis. Depending on the demarcation line of that particular set of instructions, these names come to be. A constitution is a set of instructions on a country level, meaning the entire nation follows those set of instructions. Regular laws. These are now a set of instructions demarcated for region, or even sometimes cities, or even some small ordinances. And then policies. These are now a specific set of instructions specifically designed, for example, like us as a studio, or the building that we are leasing. There's still instruction, except that the boundaries are much, much more smaller. In a nutshell, that's what that is. So we get a chance to fully understand, to absolutely scrutinize everything. If we find that it's not helpful to us, we advocate. We advocate to get rid of it. We not only advocate, but we also put our hands in it. We help to get rid of that. If it's good, we also advocate and push so that each and every one of you get to know what it is, so that it becomes beneficial, not only by words, but also in action in our everyday lives. Are we together? On Wednesdays, we get to talk about our testimony. We get to rewrite our history, our ways, by us as brothers and sisters. We don't get to do it from the lenses of foreigners or from the lenses of non-Africans. It's imperative that you understand the importance of you being able to have your own mouth and speak up on your own by or on behalf of your own people, of your own family, and make no apologies to nobody. Africa has a huge, 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 huge and rich history, but it has been purposely buried. It's been purposely buried for centuries, for decades. And oftentimes, none of us care, because majority of us don't even know that we have a history as African people, let alone the African continent. And imagine you not knowing who you are. If someone tells you that you're a monkey, but in all honesty you are a lion, you grow up thinking that you're a monkey, you bark like a monkey, you eat like a monkey, you pretty much take on the monkey culture and behaviors, but all along you're a lion. And sooner or later, a set of lions find you. And they look at you, they're like, what's wrong with this lion? And you even look at them, you're like, something wrong with these people, something wrong with those lions. Lions have a different kind of culture, they behave differently, and so they can either be confused or get confused. They can come in and snatch you out, be like, that's not who you are. You are a lion as opposed to a monkey. Why are you behaving like a monkey? Nothing wrong in being a monkey as long as you are naturally a monkey. But if you are naturally a lion, behave like a lion. Act like a lion, because that's who you naturally are. So as Africans, our history is very important to you, but also to the outsider. There's no need to be ashamed in who you are as a people. You gain so much by appreciating and by also knowing your own history. So we want to make sure that not only you know your history, but also you get the benefit from the reach of your history. And you also get to pass the torch around to your own generation. Leave that history written down. Leave your testimony written down, so we can actually preserve it for millennia. Are we together? That's what we do on Wednesdays. On Thursdays, we get to also talk about the spirit of dominion. A word, I absolutely love this word, dominion, because when you dominate, you take control over something. You have a full control of it. You not only understand it, but you can actually manage it. You have the full knowledge of that which you are taking over, you are taking control over. So when we dominate Africa, when we dominate our natural resources, we are literally managing it. We are making it better. We are protecting it. We are ensuring that it has benefit not only to us as a people, but also the rest of the world. So that spirit of dominion is that natural management skill set that's inside of you. How do you get that? You have a gift. Your gifts will help you to dominate or to take over, to manage, to govern your Africa and your African resources. So we get to talk about that, but we also have to put that in practice on Thursdays. Fridays, we get to talk about the current event and its impact to Africa and African people. And again, you get that opportunity to actually shine. Share with us the things that you care mostly about, and with no apologies. And with that in mind, guys, let's jump right in it. Also apologies because I believe we started about 10 or 12 minutes past the time. We're having some technical difficulties. Nevertheless, we are here. Again, I always say that if you're gonna beat us down because we didn't show up, but not because we are late. But also, we're not in the business of being late. We'd love to be punctual, but sometimes it goes beyond us. If technology doesn't allow us to be punctual, it is what it is. And with that in mind, what do we got cooking today? Today, I'm about to talk about something, and I know that some of you, let me just give you a disclaimer. If you feel offended by today's show, by all means, come and talk to us. Come and talk to me. But I beg you, before you stone me, listen to what I have to say. All right? So today, what are we talking about? It's Tuesday, as you know it. So we want to talk about constitution, law, and policy review and implementation. And in particular today, I want to talk about something that can be a bit sensitive to some of you. Church and state, and the separation of church and state. And the topic goes like, does a government have a right or a legal right to get in between you and your God? That's the question, and that's the topic. Is it legal for your government to get in between you and your God? Is it legal for a government to come in between your spiritual relationship between you and your God? Who has the audacity to come in between you and your Creator? I go further and say, do you have to be lectured by any government, guys, on how you pray and connect to your God, to your higher being self? Do you have to follow a blueprint by a government? That's another question. That concept of separation of church and state, do you guys understand what that is? Do you care what that is and why it matters? And then I go further and I say, in whose interest is it when a government meddles in faith-based organization structure, management, and day-to-day operation? In whose interest is it? And of course, I love using Rwanda as a guinea pig, as a case study. So we get to see what's happening in Rwanda when it comes to that. So why am I actually going to talk about this today? Africa, as I have told you guys, it's been going through a lot of changes. And these changes, some of which are really good to for us, and some of which are terrible for us. And it is for these reasons, if we do not actually time out and scrutinize everything that's happening, especially on a management level, not only we could easily be sold as slaves, as it has been for many millennia, we could be kept in dark forever. And that is one thing we're fighting against today. I do not want to be misled by anybody, be it a government, be it an organization, be it a family, or be it a friend. If you consider yourself to be my friend and you mislead me purposely, God help you if I do find out. Our friendship would actually terminate. If you're an organization and you're scheming and you're scamming me and you're scamming others, the minute I find out, I will fight against you. If you are a higher institution, a government institution, any institution who has the legal authority or a mandate to empower people, to educate and to pass on good and right information, and it literally and purposely passes on bogus information, wrong information purposely, so that you continue to be a monkey, you continue to be an ignorant person. God helps you the minute we find out that that's what you're doing. We are going to fight against you publicly and openly with no apologies. I cannot tell you how wrong it is for someone to purposely mislead you for the purpose of turning you into a dumb person, an ignorant person, someone who doesn't actually reason. We are higher intelligent human being. We are higher creatures with higher frequency. We should be functioning at a very higher frequency because that's who we are. Not trying to be cocky or anything. You and your entire self, you are a sophisticated creature. Much more sophisticated, much more powerful than any computer that's ever been created. So you gotta behave like that. So imagine turning into a supercomputer, taking a supercomputer and turning it into like a dummy machine. Just think about that. Now take it further and take a human being and just completely flip him upside down and make him like a donkey. That is just not acceptable, guys, especially in these 2022 years. So, and with that in mind, we are going to take zero chance on anybody who wants to mislead us. And we are going to publicly say, hell no, we're not taking that. Which is why I said, if you feel offended, if you find yourself in any one of those categories that I mentioned earlier, we make no apologies to you. Because on one side, you want to live in a certain way, but you want the rest of the people, especially us African, to live in another way. You may feel like you're superior to us as a people, and we say no. We are very, very sophisticated higher being, more than capable of managing ourselves, more than capable of doing everything right and according to our ways of lives. So you either can respect that, or you can do whatever it is that you feel like doing. But also, as we are going to do what we have to do. So why did I actually bring this topic? Does the government have a legal right to get in between you and your God? The concept of religion, the concept of God, the concept of a higher being, it can be such a daunting endeavors for most of us. Why? Because none of you can see God. It's invisible. However, myself, I'm invisible. The true me, it's invisible because that which is invisible is far more real than that which is visible. Again, that's not my own words. I am borrowing them from my Father. The visible was created by the invisible. Just because it's invisible, it doesn't mean that it's real. So imagine a human being trying to be the invisible one, the one who created that human being, and you're trying to actually behave like him. And by the way, I'm simply using him for the lack of a better word. My Father, I call him him, and he is the Most High Father. He came up with everything. He created everything. So imagine for a set of us, human beings, trying to be the wannabe like God, trying to be the creator, try to get in the shoes of the creator, which has been what's been happening in a lot of governments. And I'm trying to figure out, and I'm trying to ask you, does the government has a right to be between you and your Father, to tell you what to do between you and your Father? Any government. And if that right isn't correct, or if it isn't right, why is it that we subscribe to it? Should a government lecture you on how you communicate with your Father? Do they even have a concept or an understanding what that entails for them to come and tell you, this is how we want you to do it? So think about it. I'm going to give you an example here. Can you imagine me come in and lecture you about flying, but I've never flown before? Imagine me come in and lecture you about fixing an equipment, and I've never been a mechanic specifically for that equipment. So a government that comes in and tell you how to have a relationship with your own creator, that is an overreach. Up to this very moment, I cannot comprehend any human being who has that audacity to come and tell you, this is how you're out. to deal or to have a relationship with your Father. Hence me asking you, do we really think that it's right for a government to come in between you and your God and tell you what to do? Is it right for the government to come in and be like, this is how we want you to structure yourself to talk to your God? This is what we require of you in order for you to talk to your Father, in order for you to have a relationship with your Father, in order for you, your family, your friends and co-workers and the likes to be able to assemble, to be able to get together and have some sort of connection with you, Father. Guys, I submit to you plain out that it's wrong. It is not only overreach, but it's just being in the shoes that you never should be in to begin with. And that's why I'm saying, or I even further asked, in whose interest is it when a government meddles in faith-based organization, its structure, its management, and day-to-day operations? Faith-based organizations, for those of you, because I want to give you my 2 cents on what I know of them, so that you can know, you can have an idea where I'm going with this. A faith-based organization is that organization that's actually working on behalf of our Father, whose ways are to speak on behalf of our Father, to encourage you, to inspire you, to get to know you, to get to know your Creator. And His ways, His expectations of you, of us as a collective. Those organizations, to me, are supposed to be sacred. Now imagine for a government that sometimes doesn't even believe in a higher being to come in and set a structure and tell you this is how you have to talk to you, Father. Imagine I'm a Rwandese person, right? And I'm telling a Chinese, this is how I want you to talk to the rest of you Chinese people. I do not speak Chinese language. I have no idea what kind of culture that you have as Chinese people. And I come in and be like, this is how I want you to do it. Like it or, like it or hate it, this is what you have to do. Can that really sync with you? Can that really vibe with you? Can you actually accept that? And I want to tell you that today in 2022, there are African countries whose governments are telling the people not only how to seek out their God, how to conduct business, how to conduct relationship between themselves and their own gods. Government telling you what to do, how to do it, and they even have the audacity to say, we will reject you. We do not want you to do this. We do not give you permission to seek out to a higher being. And guys, that's why the constitution of many nations, they tell you that you have the right to assembly. You have the right to worship your God. You have the right to seek out the divine in the way that you have it within you. They do not meddle in that domain. Why? Because it is beyond their understanding. It is beyond their conscious. It is beyond their comprehension. So then if that's the case, why is it that some of these governments now, they have decided to meddle in? Do you know what that makes them? Your gods. If a government tells you how to pray, if a government tells you the way you must do, you must connect with your being, with your higher being, with your Creator. They are telling you they know who's your Creator and how to best communicate with your Creator. The last time I checked, in these United States, the government of the United States cannot come here right now and tell me, Freeman, this is how we want you to pray to your God. Freeman, from today on, you must follow this set of instructions anytime you want to conduct any business related to you and your Father, you and your God. They will never dare do something like that. Why? Because they recognize God is here, is right here, and them they are right there. If you're trying to be here with God, you basically try to tell me you are also a little God. You are God. Now, there's one thing that I want you to also know. I have been created in the image of my Father, and so have you. That entails that which is in my Father, it's also inside of me, or it's also in me. I happen to subscribe into that. I believe that. And because I believe that, if a group of people do not believe that, and they come and say, from today on, Freeman, this is how I want you to connect to whatever it is you do, would that be actually something that you will subscribe to, guys? And I submit to you that it will be a heck to the no. So now tell me why some of these governments are doing that today. Tell me why a lot of these governments are actually forcing you to follow specific ways of life when it comes to how you connect with your Creator. And this is why I say I'm going to take a bite at what's happening in Rwanda. Today, the government of Rwanda, and that's, by the way, I choose Rwanda because that's where I'm from, that's where I was born, that's what I know, I like to follow what's happening there. Now, I can say also, let me pick the United States, but the United States does not meddle in anything religious related. They do not meddle in it. So, what's happening in Rwanda? So the government of Rwanda, in its amazing wisdom, has passed a law that actually decides how you and your God must connect. That tells you who is legally allowed to do any connection with you and your God. Conduct business on behalf of your God. Conduct business on the faith-based organization. What these faith-based organizations are required. Do not take my word for it. I actually came ready today because I wanna just share a few of those things with you. If they can load my document right quick and give me a little bit of control too, so I can be able to go through it quickly. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. Okay, so I hope you can see what I'm looking at right now. So in Rwanda there is a law that's been pulled out, or that's been created. This law is found in the official Gazette number 37, BIS of the 10th of September 2018. And this law determines the organization and functioning of faith-based organization. Guys, this is right off the internet. I'm not that special that I have an exclusive access to this. It's publicly available. Now, the interesting thing of it is that the government of Rwanda, it's not a faith-based organization. It's a government. However, they had the audacity to come up with a structure that every religious organization in Rwanda has to follow. Meaning, if you are outside of how the government wants you to conduct business, you get in trouble. You get in trouble, plain simple. And I want you to actually take a look quickly. I've given you the official Gazette number so you can actually download it yourself. I'm not going to go through everything, but I simply want to make a point that look of what's happening in Rwanda, aka Singapore of Africa, aka an exemplary nation throughout Africa, that everything is all good. Guys, I need you guys to wake up and get to know that sometimes when you choose to be ignorant of something, that whatever it is that you become ignorant over takes over your life, your livelihood, and everything else about you. Right now, many nations do not say nothing negative about Rwanda, but they know everything that takes place in Rwanda. Now, not me, because me, not only I was born in Rwanda, but I also have an interest in that nation. I still have family there. I still have the people that I love and people that I care about. I would love Rwanda to live just like these United States in terms of the life standard qualities. Now, let me also be frank. I would not want Rwanda to live like 100% the life that the United States have. Believe it or not, the United States is not a paradise. Let me be frank with that. Remember, I told you we speak frankly here, and we speak boldly with no apologies. This is a great nation to be in. They have so many amazing, amazing things. But this is not a perfect nation either. This is not a perfect nation. It keeps on working towards the perfection in the way they know how. So, with that in mind, I would not just say that, you know what, I want Rwanda to be just like the United States, because that would just be overreaching. There's some very good things that take place. There are some very, very good things that takes place here that I can even dare say copy and paste, even though we already know how to copy and paste. But not everything that is here, it's good or it's right for you guys. I can absolutely say that with a clean conscience. And so with that in mind, guys, Rwanda has been commercialized, has been advertised as an exemplary nation throughout Africa. By whom? It's been advertised by the super powerful organizations worldwide that advertises every single day, that lobbies on behalf of Rwanda to all these different governments. And of course, if all that they're lobbying, all that they advertise is the only thing that you know, is the only thing that you decide to seek out, you would only know what they intend to show you. Anything that they do not want to show you, you're never going to know. And that's why I say, guys, I plead with you to please go and read what's happening. And then go back and see within you whether what you are going to read will actually have some sort of conflict with who you are as an individual. And that's one of the things I want to leave with you guys. Let me jump right in right quick, because I want you guys to see some of the things happening here. By the way, this is actually the law in Rwanda. Has 3 languages. There is Kinyarwanda, English, and French. So because you guys are English speaker, let's go to the English section right quick. And I hope you guys can see what I'm looking at here. So again, let me just go right in quickly. Guys, can you actually give me the full control, because I want to manage it, the whole thing. Yeah, give it to me briefly, please. I will really appreciate it. Yeah, let me have the whole thing. Thank you. Let me see. Number two. Yeah, give me the whole thing. Thanks. Okay, let me see now if we are dancing. Okay, I think we might be dancing now. Do I see you? Yes, I see you. Okay. Perfect. I think I see you guys. I think I see you. Okay. Let me go right ahead. So let's go right there. So now, guys, I want you guys to just, we are going to scan. We are going to scan. We're not gonna take too much into this, because this is a long document, and I think it has how many pages? Quite a few pages. However, this is what I want you guys to take a look at. So first and foremost, they say law number 72 of 2018, which was enacted or voted on the 31st of August 2018. This law determines the organization and the functioning of faith-based organization. Now, this is the government of Rwanda that's telling you, this is how we want you to set up your faith-based organization. It's like me telling you, from now on, this is how I want you to have a baby. From now on, this is how I want you to breathe. From now on, this is how I want you to do something that is naturally not in my area of expertise. So the government of Rwanda, it dares. Not only they dared to do, they actually made it a law, which is why some of these laws, they shouldn't be there. But because, again, of our own ignorance, if you have not taken some time to know whether that law is actually legit or is good for you, you suffer these consequences. So let's go right quick into it. So there is general provisions, the purpose of this law, the definition, head office establishment, and so on. The common provision relating to functioning of an organization, an umbrella, a forum of umbrellas, and ministry. Can you just imagine? It's like the government of Rwanda is telling you, you, Mr. Pastor, this is how I want a pastor in my country to be. This is how I want a preacher in my country to be. This is how I want a deacon in my nation to be. If you're not a deacon in this way, it's the highway. This is literally what it is, guys. And I'm calling out to all of you faith-based organizations worldwide. I dare you to go on the internet and download this law that's been enacted in Rwanda. We are in 2022 right now. It's been 4 years ago, close to 4 years ago, since this law has been enacted. Those of you who speak on behalf of faith-based organizations worldwide, and if you have no idea of this law is, it's law number 72 of 2018. It's in the official Rwandese Gazette number 37 BIS of the 10th September 2018. Why do I stress that on? If you seriously claim to advocate on behalf of the faith-based organization, on the right of every single human being to pray his or her own God the way it's inside of you, I dare you to literally take some action. Take some action and look at what we have in this law and say no to this law. Every human being, you have the right to connect to your own creator the way you have it inside of you. The same way you cannot legislate how a woman has to be pregnant. You cannot legislate how a woman has to have a kid. You can attempt to. The same way you've made it possible, for example, to say a man can marry another man. But a man cannot impregnate another man. You may legislate that against nature, but nature will never agree to those kind of legislations. And now you may say, you know what, tread carefully, young man. You do not know what you're saying. I understand what I'm saying. A male cannot naturally have a baby. Naturally is impossible, guys. Now, you may have all the brilliant doctors who may put a womb inside of me. They may take a womb from a woman and they put it inside of me. Or they may try to create an artificial womb and put it inside of me. That is unnatural. Just because you try something and somehow it works, it does not mean that now it can be legalized, guys, or it can be real. So what's happening here, even Rwanda has dared to play God. The government of Rwanda has decided to be the God of the Rwandese people. They have chosen a way to legislate what faith-based organization they want in Rwanda. Let's do it quickly. Let's read it quickly. So, common provisions relating to functioning of an organization and umbrella. I know I'm running out of time, guys. Bear with me. Article 5, statutes. Article 6, prohibition from having name of another organs and so on. Article 7, application for legal personality for an organization, an umbrella, a form of umbrella or ministry. Time for issuance, publication for decision, granting legal personality, reapplication for legal personality requirements. And let's go down. Rights of an organization, activities of an organization, partnership for development, financial support, and so on. Let's go down. Prohibition in functioning, practices, and preaching. Application for legal personality of and duties of an organization. Requirements for applications. What I'm telling you guys, a government telling you this is the requirement for you to pray to God. This is the requirement for you to get in front of other people, to share with you your God-given spiritual mission. They are literally getting in between, be like, this is how we want you to do it. Unless the government of Rwanda is a god, how can they come up with a document like this and put it in front of millions of people and tell you from today on, from 4 years ago, this is how we want you to seek out your own God? When I talk about overreach, guys, this is one of those examples. It's been 4 years ago. This document has been in existence. All of you who are God-fearing people, global, worldwide, I want you to know of this. And I want to see if you would dare actually take any action towards helping Rwandese people to reclaim their God-given right to worship their own God, their own way, without government meddling in it. We need your help, guys. If you claim that you are truly a child of the Most High, if you claim that you truly have the right to worship your own God, without your government, without your legislature coming and tell you this is how you must do it, or it's the highway. Because that's what's been happening in Rwanda. And most of you faith-based organizations are literally in bed with the government of Rwanda. And when I say you are literally in bed, you're working together. I'm talking about not only those within the country, but also outside of Rwanda. How do you claim to fear God, but then you side with someone who's against your own God? The only way you can do that is if either that person or that organization becomes your God, and you say, okay, from today on, I'm going to worship you. So you tell me how you want me to do it, and I'm good with it, which is what's been happening here in Rwanda. And then they go on and they say requirements for the application, reason for denying a legal personality of an organization, reason to deny you from being what you already are. I mean, listen to the audacity, guys. Requirement for being a legal representative of an organization, obligation of an organization, preacher and place of sermon. I mean, seriously, guys, this is a government document. Can you imagine telling Bishop T.D. Jakes, from today on, Bishop T.D. Jakes, we want you to have sermon at 11 a.m. only, and everybody who has to have who has to come in your church, they must be masters, people who have had master degrees only, because those are the only people who are God-fearing children. Everybody else, take them out. Bishop T.D. Jakes, from today on, you got to make sure that everything you do, you have to follow our rules and regulation from the government, including how you run your church, including any activities that you may so choose to follow, and so on. Can you actually see T.D. Jakes going for this? Can you see Joe Austin going for this? Can you see so many other God-fearing pastors all over the world going for this? So, and I'm asking you, pastors all over the world, this is in English, this is in French, this is also in Kinyarwanda. We have Cortana, we have all kinds of artificial intelligence that can help you read and understand what this document is reading. Guys, if you claim to be a God-fearing individual, if you claim to be a God-fearing organization, I am asking you to read this and see how corrupt this law is, and see how corrupt organization, faith-based organization in Rwanda have been turned into. Now we're talking publicly, guys. There's no need to sugarcoat what it is. So let's go on. A preacher. Requirement for being a preacher. The government is telling you, in order for you a preacher, you gotta be this. Picture Moses back in the days. Moses could not have become a preacher by the standards of what the Rwandan government is saying right now. You'll see, because it's so ridiculous. Only someone who's from like Mars can actually go for this. And these are your good people. These are your God-feeling people in Rwanda. When I say that Rwanda has enslaved its people, the government has enslaved its people, this is a perfect example. The government's way is the only way in the country, or else it's the highway. They even go to the extent that faith-based organizations have to follow the standards of the government regardless. Let's go down quickly, because I really want to read some of it. The right application for legal personality, responsibility of an umbrella, blah, blah, blah. Article right of an association for an organization, requirement for the application, and blah, blah, blah. Read out for yourself, guys. Let me get down to responsibilities and administrative sanctions imposed on an organization, umbrella, forum of umbrella, or ministry. Goodness gracious. Guys, you have to read this. For you, if you don't feel sick in your stomach, I don't know how you're going to be. Request for explanation. The government asking a church, a faith-based organization, come and explain to us. The government giving a warning, you, from having any type of activity related to your God. I mean, look at the audacity. Moses, from today on, I prohibit you to help the Israelis. It's just like the Pharaoh refusing to listen to what God has said. Until God had to send out all those convincing examples. Those of you who don't know Moses, he's one of these cats. An amazing dude. Go in the book of Exodus. For those of you who have a book that they call the Bible, or a book that they call the Quran, those stories are there. Moses was a preacher who had a divine stick that would do wonders. Can you just imagine you grabbing a stick and the government of Rwanda be like, excuse me, you may not use this to do wonders or signs and wonders because we had said so. Excuse me, we are warning you. If you continue to use these sticks, you may be punished, including being taken to jail. Let's keep on going. Liability of a preacher. Excuse me, Moses. If you tell the people this, you are liable, and we are going to find you in contempt with our ways of life in this nation. Suspension or dismissal of member of administration. Excuse me, Moses, since you have decided not to go according to our wish as the pharaohs, we are going to suspend you. We are going to dismiss you, and we are going to dismantle this little so-called the children of Israel leader. Let's go even further. Revocation of legal personalities. Guys, it's so much. Conflict of settlement. The government of Rwanda goes in to the extent of wanting to settle the differences of spiritual things when he has no notion what the spiritual things is about. Organs responsible for conflict settlement in an organization. Conflict between organization, affiliates to the same umbrella. I mean, guys, I do not even know what to tell you beyond this. But let me actually move on further down, because I really want you to read this on your own, but you will be amazed, okay? You will literally be amazed. Let me go right to it quickly. Let's go from article, let's start from article, which article? Let's start from 17. Let me search for 17, article 17. And guys, sometimes when we do this, it saddens me. Article 17. Okay, let's go down. Article 17. Not there. An application condition. Oh, actually, I made a mistake. Legal personality. Let me add something to it. Oh, thank you, guys. They're telling me that we have to end this broadcast quickly. All right, there it is. So I came here because I want to just take a quick example and show you guys. So application for legal personality and duties of an organization. So an organization applying for legal personality must address to the Board of Application letter accompanied by the following: a notarized statute governing the organization in accordance to this law. Location of the head office as well as its full address, which is okay. Names of the legal representative of the organization and his or her deputy. Responsibilities, full address, and their biographical information. A criminal records, a criminal record certificate of the legal representative of the organization and of his or her deputy. A statement certifying that the legal representative of the organization and his or her deputy were appointed in accordance with its statutes. A brief notarized document explaining the doctrine of the organization. A notarized declaration of the legal representatives of the organization of consent to the responsibility, blah, blah, blah. Look at it. Now, let me go down to the pastor because I really want you to see that. Or maybe let's proof of payment, non-refundable, blah, blah, blah. They even want you to give him money. Reason for denying a legal personality. The board may deny legal personality to an organization due to one of the following: non-compliance, fine, with the requirements of the issuance of the legal personality, inconsistent of doctrines of an organization. This is one of the good example. So if the government of Rwanda doesn't like that your stake is so divine, you can actually turn it towards the Red Sea, and then the water separates. They'll be like, heck no, we're not taking that. So Moses will go to jail for Article 18. Because what he has done, it is beyond your comprehension, guys. And because we are outside of reach, we cannot understand how a stick can actually separate water, Moses will be in contempt. Because what he has done is beyond what Rwandese government can fully understand. Availability of evidence that the organization violates or can jeopardize security, peace, health, public order, good morals, human rights and freedom, or if it spreads hatred among people of different faith. This is another one of them, guys. So if the faith-based organizations is deemed to be against the morals of the government, for example, the government of Rwanda has it in its practice to literally, guys, send people and rape Rwandese people. You may say, no, Freeman, you can't say that publicly. You have Rwandan soldiers under the government orders who actually go and terrorize people, guys. You may again say, how can you prove that, Freeman? Or how do you know it's government of Rwanda sanctioned? Rwanda claims to have on lockdown its entire security apparatus. They know exactly what's happening in Rwanda from every single organ. That's what they claim. Since that's the claim, and they publicly say that we stand by that 100%, you go on YouTube, guys, go on social media, and see how many cases of rape done by soldiers, done by police, done by the security apparatus of the government of Rwanda. See how many cases that they are. To the extent that some people do die, they have died, they have been brutalized, permanently damaged, and the government of Rwanda has done nothing about it. It's right in front of you on social media, including those of you following on this program on YouTube, Facebook, and many other social medias. So if the government of Rwanda finds you in contempt and they believe that your organization, your faith-based organization, jeopardizes the Rwandese security, the country's security, meaning if they're teaching you, stop raping women, stop lying on behalf of these people, stop discriminating Hutus, Twas, and Tutsis. You must make sure that these Tutsis go there and the Hutu goes there. You must ensure that Hutus and Tutsi get together and actually become one. Some of these things are jailable, son. Guys, I can say so much. But let me run right quick. Let me go down because I really want you to see the pastor. The statue. Okay, guys, I know. Give me about 4 minutes. They are telling me that I gotta go. They are telling me that I have to go. Guys, I literally have to come back to this document also and actually scrutinize it because it's that big of a deal. It's that big of a deal. An organization must have a statute that governs it. That's fine. The statute governing an organization must indicate the following: the name of an organization, the mission, activities of an organization, beneficiaries and areas of operation, administrative structure, branches, competence and responsibility of each organ, organizational structure, branches, competence and responsibility of an organ, organization structure and criteria for placement, promotion, terms of office, and dismissal of its member. Executive committee of the organization composed of at least 5 persons. My God. Financial Audit Committee, Committee for Conflict Resolution, Criteria for Acquisition and Loss of Membership, and Executive Committee. This is like a business. Source and composition of the property of the organization and its disposal in case of dissolutions by an organization. The board, which is the government of Rwanda, may issue regulations that determines additional important details that can be indicated in statutes of an organization. Let's do again. Moses, Pharaoh says, you know, Moses, I like what you do. However, I want a piece of that. You can continue to do that, but know that you work for me, Moses. You do not work for your God. Before you open the Red Sea, come and check in with me, see if it's actually in my best interest that you open the Red Sea. By the way, Moses, do not tell me that my people has to go, because I also need them to stay as my slaves. I can go on. Now, requirement for being a legal representative of an organization. A legal representative must be of a majority age, possesses a bachelor's degree in religious studies, or any bachelor's degree with a valid certificate in religious studies related to matter issues by recognized institution. This is where now things get tricky, guys. How many Rwandese people can afford to go to university? There's already a discrimination in this law. The government of Rwanda says that it does not discriminate. The Constitution of Rwanda says that it's illegal to discriminate people based on race, based on so many criteria. But right here, they're passing a requirement for you to be a legal representative of an organization that stands between you and your God. They're telling you that if you do not have a bachelor's in religious studies, you may not be a representative of the people. So meaning, Moses, you are out already. Moses, we don't want you because you do not have a bachelor's degree. And by the way, they're telling you religious studies. How can you dare to go teach something you have no knowledge over? Can the government of Rwanda actually teach religious study by the standards of the Creator? It's like a pot teaching other pots how to be a potter. Again, I have so much to say. Let me go down quickly, guys. You gotta be elected and appointed, or appointed in accordance to the statutes of an organization. You have not been convicted of crime of genocide, genocide ideology, discrimination, or sectarianism. Again, my God. You know Moses have killed somebody, right? Yet God still used him. Now have been definitely sentenced to a principal penalty or imprisonment equal to 6 months, which was never removed by amnesty or rehabilitation. Guys, seriously, in Rwanda, they have an open jail. You are in jail by default. So this law also, it's telling you, if you've ever been in jail, we don't want you to represent, to talk to your God, because we are actually God. All right, they're telling me that I have to go, unfortunately. Okay, let me read them one thing, guys. Let me read them one thing and then I gotta go. Obligation for an organization. I want to show you what the preacher and the place of sermon right there. A preacher. Moses, this is the criteria for Moses wannabes. Moses has to be of majority age. I mean, he was old enough for okay. He has to be a person of integrity. You know, Moses had some bones, has some skeleton in his backgrounds. And I'm saying it because some of you who are not familiar, go read the book of Exodus. Fulfill the requirements of an organization for being a preacher at that level. Possess a statement testifying that an organization authorizes him or her to be a preacher. Now have been definitely sentenced to a principal penalty or imprisonment equal or to exceeding 6 months. You know, Moses had to flee Egypt for 40 years because he had killed somebody. He was a fugitive. Already Moses is out. Can you just see how smart we are? Okay, guys, thank you. I'm out. Now have been definitely convicted of the crime of genocide ideology, discrimination, or sectarianism. He's got to possess a degree of a higher learning institution in religious studies or any other degrees with a valid certificate in religious studies, related matter delivered by a recognized institution. Guys, this is my time. This is my time with this issue here. But I want you to see what's happening to our people. When you're trying to be what you're not supposed to be, when you're trying to overreach, and the people are saying, yes, sir, yes, sir. Remember when slaves were told what to do by the master? Whether the master understood what the slaves were doing, they just say, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. So what am I saying to you guys? It is deplorable of what's happening in Rwanda right now. It is deplorable. The government of Rwanda has overreached. They even dare to go in the things of the Creator. They have dared to become God themselves. And the Rwandese people, they are absolutely quiet about it. They will not dare challenge the God-given ability to talk to your Creator, to your Father. You are a little God yourself, but you are not allowed by the Rwandese standards to determine how you interact with your Father. It is why I said to all of you faith-based organizations, especially who do business in Rwanda, especially who do business with the government of Rwanda, open this law and see what's happening. If you're not ashamed of what's happening, if you are for it, then speak on behalf of every other government institution to impose on the entire Rwandese people of this law. But if you feel like this law is wrong, especially in your nation, for example, in the United States, we are against this 100%. Fight against these establishments. This is not right. This is why we're even having this conversation. We will revisit this conversation because I'm being kicked out. But I want you guys to give us some feedbacks before I go. Because it's important, guys. It's important that we talk about this, and we will revisit. We will revisit this. Shoot us an email on afridominion.com. Our email is info@afridominion.com. And I beg you guys to download this law. It's on the internet. I read you what it is, and I'll actually tell them to even put it under here so that most of you can be able to download it. It is crazy of what's happening, guys. When someone tries to be your God, I do not pray. I do not pray to another human beings. That's something I will never do. I would never pray another human beings. Why is it being done in Rwanda? The same country that everybody praises. The same government that most of you outsiders praises. That's a conversation of another time, guys. Until next time, I am Freeman Singirankabo with HMG Network, but also in particular, this is Afri Dominion Show. I'm super grateful for the opportunity to have came in front of you guys and to have shared this information with you. Guys, we speak boldly. We speak with no apologies. Because these things we care so deeply about. I do not want to be a slave to nobody. I do not want you to be a donkey to nobody. Let your yes be your yes. Your no's be your no's with no apologies. Even if you have to shed your blood over it. And with that in mind, I'm out, guys. Have a beautiful day. Until we see you next time, may God be with you guys. And you have yourself a super fantastic day. I'm Freeman Singirankabo with Afri Dominion Show. Good day for now.